Ramadan.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Well, it is 41 minutes past 5, coming to you live from the Salam Media Studios. So recent stats have shown a massive spike in illegal firearms and ammunition seizures in the Western Cape. And joining me on this discussion is Dr. Stanley Maphosa, who is a South African civil society activist who serves as the director of Gun Free South Africa. Dr. Stanley, good afternoon and welcome to Salam Media.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me at Salam Media. I really appreciate the opportunity.
No, it is indeed a pleasure for us. Dr. Stanley, going into the case now that we've seen the latest crime statistics which show that 57% of murders in the Western Cape involve firearms. Now, taking us through this from your perspective, what is driving the high level of gun-related violence in the Western Cape?
Thank you very much for that question. The fact that 57% of the murders in the Western Cape are committed with firearms show us exactly what Gun Free South Africa has been saying over the years, that guns remain the dominant weapon that is driving lethal violence in the province, but also in the whole country of South Africa. You know, much of this evidence is concentrated in gang-affected communities, flats in particular, where you find organized crime, you find drug markets, you find territorial disputes that fuel this kind of activities and shootings. Firearms, when they are present, make conflicts to be deadly, because they allow individuals and gangs to kill quickly and also from a distance. So when guns are widely available in communities that are already affected by other challenges like poverty, drugs, gangs, and all these other things, then violence escalates and the small disputes then become fatal. Fights become funerals and lives are lost in the process.
No, most definitely. And also, if we look into the police report, we see that the police have recorded over about 926 cases of illegal possession of firearms and ammunition this quarter alone, which is a significant increase from last year. Now, looking at this, then obviously we have to ask the question that where are these guns coming from? And is this a failure of border control, or are we now still seeing legal firearms which are leaking into the criminal market through loss and theft?
Yes, you're right. The increase was from 758 in the same quarter last year to now 926, as we have already said, of illegal possession of firearms as well as ammunition. This tells us that illegal guns are still circulating widely in the communities. It indicates that the illegal gun market, so to speak, remains active through criminal networks. There is something that is called a supply and demand philosophy. I think that's what is really happening there. While police seizures are important, the rise also suggests that the pool of illegal firearms remain large enough to sustain gang violence, robberies, and other serious crimes that are taking place in the province. So I would say that, yeah.
No, most definitely, Dr. Stanley. Dr. Stanley, inshallah, hopefully we'll just want to take a quick break. And when we return, we'll go through more issues regarding illegal firearms and ammunitions in South Africa, more globally, but now focusing more on the Western Cape. As you mentioned before, that most of the areas that have found the cases are those ridden by gang violence, etc. So let's go for a break and we'll be back.
With Ashraful Aid this Ramadan, your zakat changes lives. It feeds families facing hunger, restores dignity to those in need, and brings hope where it is needed most. From food relief to essential support, your zakah reaches communities with care, transparency, and impact. Give with confidence, give with trust. Make your zakah count this Ramadan. Give your zakah to Ashraful Aid and help change lives today.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities, conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities. Your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
This Ramadan, please consider donating to the Islamic Dawah movement. For over 45 years, IREM has built over 80 masjids and distributed more than 160,000 Qurans in 8 local languages. IREM has installed over 250 boreholes and water wells. Over 1,000 children are fed daily, building strong Muslim communities in disadvantaged areas.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic Sharia and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Freedom Stationery supply Marlin and Marlin Kids pens to me and my school friends. They supply just about everything we need to help us get a better education, from books to files to rulers. In fact, any any accessory we need. Freedom Stationery. Education for the nation. What does accessory mean?
Salam Media, your spiritual companion this Ramadan.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Welcome back. We're still in discussion with Dr. Stanley Maphosa, who's the director of Gun Free South Africa, on gun violence and which are spiking more specifically in the Western Cape. Dr. Maphosa, looking back at the GFSA, which has been pushing for legislative changes, for our listeners out there who may not be policy experts, what specific loopholes in the current law need to be closed to stop the flow of illegal guns in South Africa, inshallah?
The greatest loophole really is that the Central Firearms Registry must be functional. It's not an administrative tool, but it's a policing tool that must be used to tell us how many guns are in the country at any given time, to be able to ensure that any guns that gets to be diverted from the country is known and recorded properly. So that registry is not in good shape. But secondly, there are other loopholes that really talk to, accountability in general, and licensing. What kind of persons needs to be licensed when they are looking for firearms? We should be asking ourselves tough questions when such a person comes to the designated firearms officer in the police station and check, especially their history around domestic violence. Because we have seen quite a lot of intimate partners being killed through firearms. We should be also searching whether this person has got a history of alcohol and drug abuse, because the alcohol, drug abuse, and firearms are a dangerous combination. There are many more other loopholes that are there that really needs to be closed so that, guns don't find themselves, moving so easily from the legal space into the illegal space.
Now, focusing on the last point you just made, that guns are now finding themselves moved from the legal space into the illegal space. So recently, we've also seen reports of firearms which have been being stolen directly from police stations and state armories, like the K9 unit incident. Now, how big of a contributor is leakage from the state compared to the thefts from private citizens?
I think they are both happening, and statistically, private citizens lose more weapons than police do. When somebody really interprets the statistics that the police have been giving us over the years, there is more of civilian. And when we talk about civilians, we're putting together private owners plus the security companies. They lose quite more than the state. It is disinformation to say it is the state that loses more, because somebody really wants to make a particular statement. But the statistics that we all know that are in the public from the SEPs show us that civilians lose more than the state does. And then the last area of diversion into the illegal market is the cross-border. The cross-border has got the lowest numbers, but it does really contribute as well. So it's those three: it's the civilians leading, followed by the state, and then thirdly comes the cross-border illicit markets through organized crime. According to the statistics that the police themselves are giving all of us.
No, 100%. No, this is obviously devastating. And now, looking again into the solutions, we spoke about. You spoke about now in terms of the administration part of the licensing departments, that they have to be on par so that things can work properly. Which is we know with state entities, it's always an issue. But now, looking at the SEPS accountability point, does then the SEPS need a specialized firearm unit again for this position? And what is the one thing the police commissioner should prioritize today to get these guns off the streets?
I wouldn't say they need a specialized. The people are already there, and the act that we are using now, the Firearms Control Amendment, the Firearms Control Act of 2000, is solid enough that if implemented in the state in which it is, it would make a huge difference. The loopholes that we talked about really are really patching up on the current act, because it was promulgated in 2000. It's 10 for things have changed. It must definitely be amended. But the current one, as it stands, tells us who should be there. In each and every police station, there should be a designated firearms officer, DFO. The central firearms registry should be kept in a manner that is up to date, and it should be placed under the authority of the national commissioner and be used as a central, space where we know firearms coming in, coming out, tracing and tracking them from the time they are manufactured up to the time they are destroyed. We call it from cradle to grave. We should know the route that is taken by the firearm every time.
No, most definitely. Now, when it comes to the community, then who are most affected by gang violence and gun crime, what practical steps can the government then and civil society take to reduce the circulation of illegal firearms and improve safety?
We would say definitely communities are very critical in safety. They are very critical in ensuring that firearms illegal ones are recovered, and legal ones are controlled. They play a major role, as you have indicated, that they are the most affected. So a combination of law enforcement actions and community-based prevention is something that needs to be done. For government, there must be intensification of targeted operations to recover those illegal firearms through what we call intelligence-driven operations. The ad hoc operations of stop and search and the Operation Shanyela are not working. They've been used over the years, but intelligence-driven policing is very, very critical. And that's where also communities come in to provide that particular intelligence to report the firearms that are illegal, because the people that use them are around them. If you are not reporting, the act is clear that you are also conniving to that particular action. There's a toll-free number, 086001011, where somebody can report and remain anonymous of any firearms or any crime that is being committed in the communities where they live. But also communities can come together and begin to declare certain spaces to be gun-free zones. And in this particular school, as a community, we are in agreement that it shall not be, no gun shall be allowed here, and we're putting a sign, we're putting a constitution, and it is us as community members that are doing that. And we have done that as Gun-Free South Africa in various communities, and it seems working for those communities.
No, most definitely. Dr. Stanley, thank you very much for your time. And just the last point, as you know, it is our month of Ramadan, the month of peace and tranquility. Now, facing these devastating issues of gun violence, what would be then your take-home comment to the communities out there in the Western Cape, specifically in this nights whereby now that they're about to break the fast in obviously upon the point of keeping safe and making sure that the community is viable again?
Great to everyone, and we would definitely wish everyone a good time when they're breaking the Ramadan period season, and let there be peace, and let there be, community oneness, cohesion, ubuntu. And as I've said earlier, let's report some of these issues that are happening in our communities. Let's participate in some of these discussions, some of these submissions that Parliament will be putting them out so that people comment, people make their voices heard. Because communities have suffered for years in the Western Cape, and it seems that people are not doing much. They are doing, yes, something, but it's not as much as what communities are suffering on a day-to-day basis.
No, most definitely.
Let us recover all the illegal firearms and let us control those legal ones.
No, most definitely. Thank you, Dr. Stanley, for your time. And it was really a wonderful chat. And we hope that people will start taking action and stop just being complicit in these regards. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. So there was Dr. Stanley Maphosa, who is the director of Gun-Free South Africa and a veteran civil society activist focusing on the identity, intent, and instrument of violence. Once again, the stats are sitting at 57% of murders in the Western Cape, which are gun-related. And the toll daily is, on average, 33 people who are murdered with guns in South Africa. So we obviously are facing a big issue, and we need to stand firm and stand together as Dr. Stanley has advised us. All right, so it is 6 o'clock on the dot here in Johannesburg. We'll take a quick break, inshallah, and when we come back, I'll be discussing Ramadan, the spirit of Ramadan, with Maulana Mustafa Mahali, all the way in Verulem, inshallah.